Today, we're diving into an investigation that uncovers a pretty shocking breakdown of academic integrity at a medical college in Bangladesh. And it all kicks off with a single forged document. I mean, that's a wild question, right? But it is exactly what this story is about. We're going to explore what happens when the trust we put in our medical education system isn't just bent, it's completely shattered from the inside. All right, so let's get right into it. The whole controversy really boils down to one crucial piece of evidence: a fake exam schedule. So check this out. This slide really lays out the whole conflict. On the left, you've got the official mandate from the University of Dhaka. They set one schedule and everyone's supposed to follow it. Simple. But then, on the right, we see that one college, CBMC, just kind of made up its own schedule. It actually suspended these incredibly important professional exams for 3 whole days. And this wasn't some approved change, you know? This was a rogue move, done completely on their own. So you gotta ask, right? Who could possibly pull something like this off? Well, the investigation points to a really powerful group inside the college, a group that was allegedly acting like they were completely untouchable. The reporting really zeroes in on these 2 individuals. They're identified as the core of this whole operation, and they were supposedly powerful enough to just bypass the college's own principle, not to mention the university's actual rules. And here you can see the alleged power structure. The whole syndicate is reportedly led by the head of pathology, Dr. Nazma Ansari, and advised by Dr. Mirza Hamidul Haq. Now, his status is really interesting. He's a supernumerary professor. It's a position of influence often given to retired faculty, which means he can wield a ton of authority completely outside the normal chain of command. Okay, now let's really break this down. Let's get into why this latest schedule wasn't just a little irregular, but was actually illegal. And, let's explore the alleged reason behind it all. So it really comes down to 3 things. First off, the college had absolutely zero legal right to change the schedule, period. Second, they made it look official, clearly trying to fool everybody involved. And third, and this is the real kicker, the investigation alleges that the entire reason for this forgery was so the department head, Dr. Ansari, could jet off on an international vacation right in the middle of these critical exams. So this wasn't just, bending the rules. The investigation makes it clear this forgery is seen as a major crime. And the legal consequences? They are incredibly severe, putting it on the same level as other major felonies. This quote from the investigation is just so powerful. Think about that for a second. Forging an exam schedule devalues a medical degree in the exact same way a counterfeit bill devalues money. It completely destroys public trust in the whole system. And the law here is crystal clear. The Public Examination Act of 1980 has specific sections just for this kind of thing. Forging the document itself could fall under sections 4 and 8, and both carry some serious prison time. And if you used your official position to help make it happen, well, that's where section 6 comes in. 10 years. Just let that sink in. That is the maximum sentence for this specific act of forgery. That number alone tells you just how seriously the state takes the crime of messing with its public examination system. Which, of course, leads to the much bigger question. How on earth could something like this happen right out in the open? Well, the answer seems to be buried deep in a toxic institutional culture. The investigation actually uses this specific term, voyeur shankriti, which basically means a culture of fear. It describes a place where junior staff and students are just too scared to speak up about things that are wrong because they're afraid it'll end their careers. So they just stay silent, becoming accomplices without ever wanting to be. And this timeline, wow, it just lays bare this stunning contradiction. On January 8th, the national regulatory body, the DGME, sends out a national warning against forgery. Then, just 2 days later, CBMC allegedly commits this massive forgery, and the regulator does nothing. It really points to what they call regulatory capture, where the watchdog just seems completely unable or maybe unwilling to police a powerful institution. So it's a huge mess. But is there a way to fix it? Well, the investigation doesn't just point out the problem. It actually lays out a pretty clear roadmap for how to restore some accountability and public trust. And that road to accountability, it really has to start with the institution itself. For community-based medical college to move past this, they have to face these allegations head-on, with complete transparency. And the proposed solutions are anything but small tweaks. They're talking about suspending the accused people right away, launching a full judicial inquiry into past exams, and even bringing in the Anti-Corruption Commission to look into their influence. And maybe most importantly, protecting whistleblowers so that this culture of fear can finally be broken. Because let's be really clear about what's actually at stake here. This isn't just about one exam or one college. When the integrity of a medical degree is compromised, it chips away at the public's trust in every single doctor who graduates from that system. And that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? It forces you to think about the long-term damage that's done when someone's personal convenience is seen as more important than the rigorous standards that are there to protect all of us. The real cost isn't just a messed up exam, it's a potential threat to the health of an entire country.